have a quorum, so we can have an official meeting. First thing on the agenda is to approve the agenda for today. Do I get a motion to approve it?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Okay, thank you. The minutes for September 8th meeting were distributed. Are there any questions about it? Any corrections?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay. All in favor? Thank you. Okay. All right, so my chair's report. Okay, so thank you and welcome to the December meeting. I want to wish you all a happy holiday season and thank you for your service over the past year. And this year has been an increasing focus on improvements to the MTA system that improve the passenger's experience. We continue to be concerned about the infrastructure, which is not seen by riders, but is critical in keeping everything running. We gain members in this past year and we lose them, and unfortunately one of the newest member actually, Michael Call, who was a member of the Long Island Commuter Council, had to resign because there was a conflict with his employer. The budget final budget was approved and released for 2017. And it follows along the lines of our last meeting where Chief Financial Officer Bob Ferran showed us what was going on. Those details are all on the website about the fare increases that have been proposed. And hearings are going to take place in a couple of weeks. So each council is going to be next Monday. Oh yeah, starting next Monday, yeah. For me it's 2 weeks. This one was it's convenient for you this time. So anyway, each council will decide how they will respond to these and what testimony they will give to these meetings. October 5th, there was a meeting about the transformative MTA project that Bill and Mark Epstein from the Town Council went to. This is kind of what since the election, there's been a lot of tension throughout the country, and our operating buses, trains, and subways are not an exception. There have been a few incidents. Most recently was a report of KKK flyers on the seats of Kokomo branch trains, and so Ellen Shannon received an email from one of the reporters from the home reporter from the New York Post.
Randy, can you project a little?
Yeah, all right, I'll be like trying. All right, about an incident that she had witnessed on the train. So at our last executive committee meeting, we discussed this, and a letter is being sent to the chairman asking him to collect statistics which are detailed on any hateful incidents that take place in the MTA system, and with all law enforcement and other entities being responsible for maintaining order in the system. And we have further asked that these reports be broken down by the nature of the incidents, where they occurred, and they can be used to document the problem and used to design responses to unacceptable speech or actions in the system. We have further called on the MTA to provide training to its personnel that will help them to understand how to report these incidents, and we'll work with the state to provide those using the system with readily accessible means of reporting those hateful incidents. That concludes my report. The Long Island Railroad Chair, Acting Chair.
Yes, that's me. Basically, I don't want to read the whole thing. You guys can read it. If you have any questions, we'll try to answer for you. Just a couple of quickie points, though. The big thing that's been happening, which has been getting a lot of good recognition, is the ticket app that's now available to Long Island Railroad users. It's actually been a really huge success. and a lot of Ram riders are very happy with it. I'm using it now, and it's great. You can just buy your ticket on the train. However, there still is the issue of ticket collection sometimes, and people have found ways around it, and unfortunately, until the railroad figures a way around that, that's just the way it's going to be.
Specifically what?
They tell you, the rules are you're supposed to activate your ticket before you get on the train. Unfortunately, people don't activate their ticket and they wait until they see the conductor and then they activate the ticket. How you get around it, I have no clue.
That's.
If the conductor doesn't come down, it's the same as not collecting a ticket. And if you don't activate it, you still have it in your, what they call a ticket wallet.
But that doesn't apply for monthly tickets, whether you show or you don't.
Correct, a monthly, once you activate it, it's good for a monthly, but for somebody who's riding on dailies or one-ways.
Seniors.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. So if there are any other questions, if anyone has anything in the report, we'll try to answer it for you.
I have a question. The app has been doing very well, but there's some people who are trying to get it onto their phone, and they're still, and the company, the phones you guys use, they're still having a problem getting on it. They're saying there's some areas like they can't even get on and connected, or there's some areas on the LR where there's no signal to keep the Wi-Fi. So is there any other ideas of trying to keep the Wi-Fi running?
The only way right now, again, the rules are, quote, you're supposed to activate it before you get on the train.
Right.
So if you're in a dead zone and if you're waiting, there's going to be a problem. I mean, if you follow the rules, almost every station, I believe, on the branch will have a Wi-Fi at the station platform level. But as the train travels, if it goes out, then there's nothing to be done. Unless the new trains that are coming in are quote-unquote Wi-Fi compatible. Whether or not there's ever going to be Wi-Fi, that's going to be a deal that the MTA is going to make with the provider. I don't know of any, have you gotten any message? Have you gotten any letters?
About the...
People unable to activate?
No, I think, my understanding was you could activate the ticket without being connected. I thought you could.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. You could activate
Yeah.
it once but you have to have it. You can't, obviously if you're not connected, you can't purchase.
You can't purchase, yeah. You can't purchase, but you can activate.
But you can activate.
Without, so if you bought in advance, sorry.
There is a time limit of the activation. I forgot what they told us it was.
It's one, I believe it, and I don't think this is a secret, 1.5 times the trip length.
Yeah.
It's good, the ticket's good for validity of the tickets, 1.5 times trip length. If it is a secret, they said it in a public meeting, so
Yeah.
there you go.
It just happened today, so I just wanted, it just brought it to my attention. I was on my way here, and the issue came up with the issue. Some people said they were having problems more at Atlantic for the LRR, but in Penn, everyone was in love with it.
I don't know if there's any issues. I mean, there are a lot of tech support numbers and things of that nature that the railroad has put up on signs. If you have a problem loading the app on your phone, call this number and they can talk to you. It actually is a really, really simple install. It basically does itself. There really isn't much to do to load. I don't know if everyone's seen what the app looks like. It's obviously for smartphones only. You can't have it for other phones, but it's just basically, just hold up what it looks like. That was my ticket from this morning. And what you do is you just purchase it online with a credit card, push the activate button and away you go, and push the screens come on when I say that. But that's basically what it looks like. That was my ticket from this morning. It's no longer active. When it's active, there's a little bar that goes across up and down the top of the screen. So obviously it's just active, and it says this ticket has been used.
Larry, when you mentioned the time limit, because Chris mentioned lack of cell or Wi-Fi capability at certain stretches of a line, could you do that before you left your house? Just have it on your phone and then just show it?
Yes. Yeah, I bought this ticket. I bought like 3 or 4 days ago.
Oh, so there's not a time limit as far as...
Oh no, the tickets still only have a 60-day expiration time. So if you don't lose it, obviously you lose it, just like a regular everyday ticket. But you can buy the ticket a week in advance and activate it when you need it.
You need to have a cell service to activate it?
No, you don't need a cell service active. Once it's on your phone, you can activate it on your phone. And the way the conductor again knows is that there's a little bar that goes across in real time. So in other words, if I showed this ticket that I have on here right now, the conductor could see, obviously because of this black area up here, there's no bar thing going across, a colored bar. He knows that this ticket is not active.
What happens once the conductor has read your ticket? Does it disappear or?
Nope, it stays on your phone for the allotted amount of
shows
time.
that
And then it still shows on my phone because it's still
It shows
here.
that it's been taken?
It shows that it's been used. It says right here, the ticket has been used and was used on today's date.
And how long does it stay there?
It's 60
Oh,
days.
so you're going to have accumulation of these things?
Correct.
thank you for the show and tell. Yes, Judy?
I used Long Island Railroad last Friday for the first time. I was at a friend's house for a day after Thanksgiving dinner with 3 other friends, and we were going to take, they wanted to take the jitney home, and I said, hey, we can save a lot of money taking the railroad, and so then I said, go online and we'll see what the next train is. And then I told them about this, that we could buy the ticket online. We went to buy the ticket online, well, the first person did, who knows how to work these things even better than I do. And they said that that train wasn't running, even though it was listed that it was online. So then we used the old-fashioned means, the telephone, and they said that the schedule had changed because it was the day after Thanksgiving. But online, it still had the old schedule, and the ticket thing didn't say this train is now running at such and such
There was all
time.
kinds of extra service on Black Friday.
Well, no, it wasn't extra service, there was something canceled. And then there was something else, another train, like 15 or 20 minutes later, I think we wound up taking something to 9:06 out of Spia. But then we wound up buying the tickets on the telephone rather than using your wondrous thing. But I'm just pointing this out. I mean, the ride was great and everything else, but there were 3 different sources of information, and none of them coincided with each other. So you may want to check this out in terms of just getting information.
If you could remember or find out where the source that's.
I have my receipt from my ticket.
No, I was, that's a different question. The source that said the train was running, because they do modify schedules for Black Friday.
It was on, we just went online to Long Island.
Okay, was it Trip Planner, or was it the PDF
It
schedule?
was the website. I had
Okay.
to let this computer it was that.
So it
I
was-
said Google Long Island Railroad schedule.
Okay.
And that's where they went to.
Okay, was it a big schedule, like a paper schedule only on a phone, or? was it-
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
No,
that may have been.
That was one. Then we went to another one,
Yeah.
which I think was Trip Planner. Anyway.
Okay,
there were
okay,
three different- there were
I think I
three
understand,
different
I think I'm
schedules.
understanding what went
And
on
I
then.
can give you
then.
I'll give you, I brought the receipt with me, so
Okay.
that you could see
Okay, well,
exactly what train it
Thanks,
was.
I think I understand what happened.
Okay, this is not a complaint, because it's just, it got a little confusing.
Yeah, thanks. Well, brief interlude of water.
Okay. Bill reminded me that today is 3 years since that horrible train accident at Slide and Dive, so just have one moment of silence to think about those lives that were lost. Thank you. My report was distributed, so if there's any questions, I'll talk about them. Yes.
I just wanted to recognize and thank Metro North for the pilot at the Melrose and Fremont stations, both those locations. First of all, the Melrose station is along the 161st Street corridor, which is the civic center of Bronx County, close to Yankee Stadium, which is seeing the construction of several hundred units of housing directly across the street. And the Tremont station, which is part of a commercial strip along there, is also seeing several hundred units of housing directly across the street from that location, that station as well. So this is great news to read in the report. And I just want to publicly thank Metro North and the MTA for that pilot. Thank you very much.
And we'll say goodbye to Mr. Rhonda. Wilhelm has been here only a very short time, but he surprised everybody, probably including himself, by retiring. And so he said this will be his last meeting. So anyway, wish you lots of luck, lots of happy years ahead, and thank you for the short time that you were here. You were a very enthusiastic member of our council. Thank you. Okay. Andrew.
The Transit Runner Council report has been circulated if anybody has any questions. Some pretty good news in it, additional service, return of the W, extended late night R service, additional L service coming to prepare for the repairs to the Bushwick Viaduct, which is in turn going to prepare everybody for the L train shutdown. So a lot of work coming.
Thank you very much.
You left out the Second Avenue subway.
Nothing to
No, I know, but it will eventually. It
yeah,
looks
we-
like
we-
we're not gonna hit the December 31st.
No, as part of the reintroduction of the W, the queue has been cut back to 57th Street, 7th Avenue. Preparation when it will go up 2nd Avenue. We don't have the open date yet. We know when certain people would love it to open, but
Well,
we would prefer it be a safe opening.
We have been made sort of aware that December 31st will probably not be met.
Well, I've heard reports that the NYPD prefer it not be open on New Year's Eve, so it's either open, if it's ready, it's open on the 30th, or it's open after.
Well, because of safety and other testing that's still going on.
We're waiting to hear, all of us.
Okay, thank you very much, Andrew. We have any old business to discuss? Ed, Edith.
The buses that don't go the whole route. That's all I need to say. It's getting worse and worse, particularly with the tree up. I'm sorry. The issue of buses that don't run their full route. After you've waited half an hour for a 5 on the drive, to discover it's only going to 135th Street. I think that totally sucks. And the buses often say, you know, GWB, and then they change along the way. Bus time totally does not recognize that. Bus time will tell you there's a bus 2 minutes away and nothing appears. Or it goes straight through the stop to begin picking up further up the route, leaving those of us already sitting there, still sitting there.
Do you think that deliberately they are not stopping, so they don't have to deal with you?
No.
That's want to make sure that wasn't in there, okay?
Excuse me, but they're leaving everyone else behind
Okay,
as
all
well.
right, okay.
You know, I mean, I just think that as the weather's getting worse, I look forward to pneumonia repeatedly all winter. Thank you.
Edith, once they split the M5, which I believe is happening in January, you shouldn't see short turns because the buses will be half their length and they should be able to make the route.
Excuse me. Do you know how many 4s go down, not going all the way? You will have, at 6:30 at night, you will have 5 or 6 4s going down doing
I know
that.
the cost of
Okay?
all of this too.
And, fine, I'm really
It's
cool.
New York traffic, it's terrible, they just can't
It's
make
the tree,
turns.
let's get rid of the tree, okay?
Get rid of what?
The tree.
Oh, the tree.
And Donald, right, I mean, well, Donald's the problem going downtown, not going up.
Right, but is it, what is, oh, I'm sorry.
This is, I didn't think this was a matter for this council, but since Edith brought it up. Bill, any word on our bus meeting on bus problems? I'm not going to bring up all the bus problems.
We don't have a date. You know.
Well, Bill, may I
I'm
now
talking,
put
I'm going
into
to
the
talk to
record-
Deborah Holmore again today. I will.
May I put into
Ask
the
again.
record and the minutes for this meeting, as I did at the last TRC meeting, a formal request, which has now been going on for 7, 8 months, 9 months, my friend Chris says, for another meeting about buses specifically, which of course everybody on this council is, on the PCAC is invited to attend. But this is getting ridiculous and ludicrous because Edith, you're not the only one who has bus problems, you know, and I know yours are horrendous.
But you're not close enough to the end.
No, Edith, I'm not,
Yes.
I'm saying, that there are so many bus problems. So I am
Okay,
now,
well,
would like this to go into
Fine.
this minute
I
also.
will
Thank
ask
you.
her to set it, to get a date set with Mike Rybosh, whoever he wants to bring.
All right, thank you. Is there anything else? Do we have any new business to discuss?
Yeah, one thing, you have with you, just passed out, also emailed to you, a copy of the fair proposal, and I know that each council is looking at that individually. But if anyone has any wisdom that they'd like to share on fairs, it doesn't hurt to have a variety of points of view, even from people in different councils. We welcome that. The hearings start next Monday. The first one's in Queens. They continue on to the 20th of December, so it's a pretty long slog through hearings. Thank God for Christmas and Hanukkah, or we'll probably be going into the new year. But it's a pretty long slog. But it's important for people to make their voices known, make their opinions known about their hearing. So if anybody has any thoughts now or later, please let us know.
Thank you.
The second piece of new business, and you were all emailed this. We'll go ahead and pass out paper copies since I expect nobody necessarily carries the proposed budget around with them. We're going to pass out some paper copies, but you were emailed a proposed budget. One of the, there's several changes in here. Most of the from last year, most of the changes have to do with our personnel expenses, which we don't actually pay. MTA pays them on our behalf to myself and other members of the staff. But we did make some progress here, with a lot of help from our executive committee, the members of our executive committee who put in hours and hours and hours sitting with MTA, arguing on our behalf, and the staff definitely appreciates that. The progress we made in personnel is as I think everybody knows, we got Bradley on as a permanent employee, which is great. So that increases the size of our staff, our baseline staff by one. That's a good thing. And then also we were able to take Angela from a planner position and move her up into a planning manager position, which more accurately reflects her education, experience, and skill. And yeah, we didn't add that. We didn't. I don't think we put that in the job description. Maybe we could squeeze a few more hate points out for that. And overall, we did finally get the MTA to reanalyze most of our positions. Some of our positions don't get regularly analyzed for hate points, but those that are regularly analyzed, they reanalyze those. The number of hate points assigned to some of the positions increased, and that increased the salary ranges, consequently increased some of the salaries. And just as a personal side, I thank you, members of the executive committee, for that, because that was something that affected me directly.
That was a very long, hard fought battle. It took almost from the time I started, and this is my last year as the chair. And so it took a long time to get to where we were today. So thank you, everybody. And thanks for everybody who supported us along the way. But anyway, we did. So our salaries have increased. Also included in this salary increase is basically a placeholder for a part-time outreach assistant for the Long Island Railroad Commuter Council.
It's become increasingly evident, and since Mark is no longer able to basically devote 2 days a week to doing LIRCC business, that it's just nearly impossible for members of the council to get out to interact with folks on Long Island about transportation matters. And unfortunately, a lot of the meetings are held out on Long Island, out in Nollville and other places on the island, which is about basically your travel time is about 4 hours to get out to a meeting and come back. So basically, it's a whole day. What we propose and with Ira's help and Mark and Ira prevailed upon the MTA hierarchy to allow PCAC to hire somebody that part-time to go out and attend some of those meetings, and so that's reflected in the salaries budget as well. Personnel expenses basically, as I say, are paid by the MTA on our behalf. If there are changes in the personnel budget, we either get more money or have it taken away because of that. But they're there for information. A smaller part of our budget is the non-personnel expenses, and we receive an allocation of almost $69,000 a year from the MTA to cover expenses because people like Manja like to get paid for lunch, and we like to have pencils and things like that. But seriously, we did not spend a whole lot of that money this year. We're still spending it this being December, and probably I think we spent around $1,000 today on some training. We'll be spending about $1,000, but we're still spending it. Nonetheless, we did spend a lot less than what was in our budget, mainly because we did not do a major project, and we did not hire consulting folks to help us on that.
We did have a big ticket item a year or so ago from the website.
We did do that, and we continue to spend money on the website. And in fact, some of the training we're doing is in part to help our folks write for social media and for web. But we had a number of things. We had some ideas about ways we wanted to use consultants. We have been doing a lot of work with performance measures, but we've been doing that in-house. We have gotten to the point where consultants would help us. We had thought about doing something about organizationally, looking at the organization and how we might structure it to be more effective, which we didn't do. We talked about in exec, but we ended up not doing. Yeah, go ahead.
It was a year where skill building was really stepped up substantially because we had fallen quite a bit behind, and feeling as though reaching out to the consultants before we had our own strong knowledge base in the technology areas and some of the other areas that we've been going through, that it wouldn't be money well spent. We're planning for the year ahead. Now we feel much more confident on how we might be able to be looking at the budget and skills that has been building over the last year.
But we do anticipate spending it, and there are a number of needs. We've things like we had a piece of software that we wanted to buy. We were preparing to buy, and found out that we could get it through the MTA's master license. So that's money that did get spent. But we have a lot of use for the money. I'm not going to go through every line because basically we left it where it was. We left it where it was because we basically feel that the kind of things we wanted to do last year are still the kind of things we wanted to do. We just weren't prepared to do them because we were still working through some of the issues to get us to the point to get some of that outside resources and some work.
It also was a huge effort in getting the salaries and everything, and that took up far more time than it
It
ever
was,
should
that was a
have.
very time-consuming
And that
effort.
prevented us from doing the planning and projects that we wanted to.
Yeah, that was a very time-consuming effort. Entailed a lot of meetings and a lot of change of paper, and so it did take her. But that in a nutshell is where we are. We don't anticipate using any money from PCAC reserves to fund this. Since we're basically spending the money that the MTA is giving us. You know, if there are any questions, I'd be glad to speak to them.
Thank you, Bill.
What happens, I see a lot of items, you're under budget.
Yes.
At the end of the year, if this is available money, does this go to reserves?
Yeah, we'll put a reserve in, you know, that is yet to be determined because they don't pay us on a strictly reimbursement basis, but they have never, you know, we haven't been asked to repay it. Yes, so.
Okay.
It gets rolled over. I mean, really, you know, we actually get, you know, we've had situations where we've gone over on some years and under on some years. So,
Can I get a motion to approve the budget for next year? Second? All in favor? Opposed? All right, thank you very much.
Did you vote no, Lauren? I just noticed you put your hand up about midway between the two. I want to get an accurate count.
All right, unanimous.
And we had all who were, because we had and there were no abstentions, is that correct?
And the phone said aye.
Okay,
Okay.
we had an issue about that previous year, so I just want to be very accurate about that.
Everybody was unanimous. Thank you. Okay, so we're running ahead, which is good, and except if you're on a train, that's not good. So since I'm fairly new here to the process, and I never met Mr. Zirkin before, I'm going to call on Ellen to make the introduction because she was involved a bit years ago.
So I met Alan Zirkin, 5 years ago, back when Lee was chairman of the MTA. I'm just going to read this because I don't have the full background. Alan Zirkin's been the adjunct associate professor of public administration at NYU's Robert F. Wagner School of Public Service since 1988, teaching courses in negotiation and conflict management. He also teaches an annual course on negotiation and conflict resolution at the Graduate School of the American University of Paris, and one on environmental conflict resolution at the Graduate School of Bocconi, did I pronounce that right? University in Milan, Italy. Professor Zirkin specializes in the design and facilitation of processes intended to bring mutual understanding and collaboration and resolution to public issues and controversies. These initiatives take many forms: stakeholder consensus building, processes on public policy,